Okay, hello, welcome to Academy where learning becomes much more easier. So in this video, we're going through the limit of functions, and then irrespective of whether you know it or not, all you just need to do is pay attention and then you get it at the end. I'll be giving exercises at the end of this video, so do well to respond to it. Do well to respond to it on the comment section. If you have questions, you could drop it on the comment section. So let's start. We have now, under the limit of a function, you can have a function y is equal to 3x squared plus 4x minus 7. So this is a function, right? This is a function. And then when it comes to limit of a function, it means that it's tending to something. It's approaching towards something. So let's say we have the limit of this function as x tends to 2. So we have a function y equal to 3x squared plus 4x minus 7. And then we are told to find the limit of this function as x tends to 2. Primarily, when you see limit is all about substitution. It's all about substitution. That's basically what limit is all about. And then we have find the limit as x tends to 2 of 3x squared plus 4x minus 7. Primarily, limit is about substitution. So it means wherever we see x in this function, we have to replace with 2. Wherever we see x in this function, we have to replace with 2. So let's go. We have 3 here. We see x here, it means we are replacing it with what? 2. And then we have squared plus 4. We see x here, it means we are replacing it with 2. And then minus 7. So solving further, we have 2 squared, 2 times 2. Not 2 times 2, 2 multiplying itself in 2 places. So that is 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4, plus 4 times 2 is 8, minus 7. Solving for that, 3 times 4 you have 12. 12 plus 8 minus 7. So at the end of the day, when we solve this, we'll be having 13. So we have found the limit of this function as it tends to 2. So before we go into more intricate aspects of limits, I'd love to tell you this. Now, there are 3 rules, or there are 3 methods we can solve limit problems. First of all, we have the direct substitution method. Next, we have the factorization method. And then finally, we have the L'Hopital. We also have the L'Hopital rule. So I'll be showing us, as we move on, how we can solve the limit of functions with these rules. Okay, so moving further, just as we talked about the methods of solving limits, number 1, direct substitution, next factorization method, and then L'Hopital's rule. So there are instances where you will not be able to use direct substitution, that you need probably factorization or L'Hopital's rule to solve. So let's see some questions that we can use direct substitution to solve. Now, if you have, find the limit of the function x tends to minus 1, and then we are given the square root of x cubed minus 3x plus 19. So we're given this to solve. Now, basically, direct substitution, I told us limit is basically about substitution, fundamentally about substitution. So wherever we see x, we put minus 1. So we have equal to, we see x here, we put minus 1 cubed, minus 3. We see x here, we put minus 1, then plus 19, all square root. Solving further, we have minus 1 raised to the power of 3. Now it means minus 1 multiplying itself by, in 3 places, minus 1. So minus times minus, they are the same signs, they give us plus. Plus times minus, different signs, they give us minus. 1 times 1, 1. 1 times 1, 1. So we'll be having Square root of minus 1 cube is what? Minus 1. Then we have minus 3 times minus 1. Minus times minus, they are similar signs multiplying each other, so it's positive plus. 3 times 1, 3. Then we have plus 19. So we'll be having square root of minus 1 plus 3 is what? You owe somebody 1, you have 3. When you pay up the 1 you're owing, you'll be left with 2. 2 plus 19. So square root of 2 plus 19. 2 plus 19 is what? 21. Square root of 21 or root 21 will be our answer. Yeah, so let's see how we can solve more questions on limit of a function and see what method we can use. So now we have this question. Limit as x tends to 3, 4, in bracket x squared plus 7, all raised power of minus 2. Now, what it just tells us to do, fundamentally, we substitute directly. So we'll be having 4, anyone will see x, we put 3, 3 squared plus 7. And then we have minus 2. Solving for the 4, we saw what is in bracket. 3 squared is what? 9 plus 7. Okay, all raised power of minus 2. So let's finish solving what is in the bracket first. 9 plus 7 is what? 16. 16 all raised power of minus 2. So, according to the indices, just a brief one, we can rewrite this as 4 times, we have 16 raised power of minus 2. We use up the minus by introducing a 1 over, and then we have 16 squared. So there is no 16 raised power minus 2 here because we've used up the minus and we've introduced a 1 over. So we're having 4 over 16 squared. We're having 4 over, what's 16 squared? 256. So breaking it down, I think 4 can go here, up and down. 4 here 1, 4.25 we have 6, and 4 in 16 we have 8. So we're having 1 over 68 as our final answer. So we have succeeded in solving it. Now we've applied direct substitution and then it's giving us a finite answer. So that's fine. Before we move further, this is something we should look out for. Now all this while we have been finding the limit tending to a finite number. What do I mean by finite number? Finite numbers are numbers that are either negative, 0 or positive. Something that can be counted. These are finite numbers. Why infinite numbers or infinity? These are numbers that are undefined. They cannot be counted. They are above extreme. So it is normal to say that if I find the limit as it tends to a finite number, that's we have a finite number minus 1. Yes, our answer should also be finite. So we find that our answer is square root of 21. Square root of 21 has a value, right? It has a value. It is finite. It has a positive value. So it's finite. We also have limit as x tends to 3. It's a finite number. And then at the end of the day, we're having 1 over 68. It's also a finite number. You'll be having 0 point something, 0.0 something as a final answer. So it still falls within the range of either a negative number, 0, or a positive number. But then, by the time we see that our answer is infinity, it means we have to look for another way out. And that's what we're going to see from the next question that we'll be solving. Okay, so now let's say we've been given a question, find the limit as x tends to 2. And then what we have is x squared minus 4 over x minus 2. So we have this question that we should find the limit as x tends to 2. The limit as x tends to 2. Now, when we try to substitute directly, we'll be having, where we see x, we put 2. We'll be having 2 squared minus 4 over 2 minus 2, right? Anyway, we'll see x, we put 2. We'll be having 4 minus 4 over 2 minus 2, which gives us 0. 0 over 0, which is equal to infinity. So now, we're asked to find the limit as x tends to a finite number, but At the end of the day, we are getting infinity as the answer. It means direct substitution method will not work here. So we'll see how we can apply either factorization method or L'Hopital's rule to solve this. Things to note. Any finite number over 0 is going to give you infinity. Any finite number, be it 1, be it 5, be it -3, you are dividing it by 0, it's going to give you infinity. Next thing to note, you have 0 over any finite number. I'm just using one as a representative. 0 over any finite number is going to give you 0. Is that clear? 0 over any finite number is going to give you 0. Then 1 over infinity is also going to give you 0. So these are things you need to put at the back of your mind. Any finite number, example 1 over 0 is going to give you what? Infinity. So like that, like that, like that. So we have 0 at the denominator. At the denominator, that's why we have infinity as the answer here. So like I said, you cannot have a finite number, you cannot tend to a finite number and you have infinity. So direct substitution will not work here. Let's look out for either factorization or L'Hopital. So let's go on. Okay, so now that we have tried direct substitution, we substituted directly, it is giving us infinity. It is giving us an infinite number. It means that we are not going to stop at this point. This is not the right method to solve this limit. So let's try, when we look at this question, factorization method will work. Why? Because I can see the difference of two squares. What do I mean by difference of two squares? X squared, how do we get x squared? Is that we have squared x. How do we get 4? It is that we have squared 2. So there's just a minus, there's just a difference of these two squared. In x squared is x being squared. In 4 is 2 being squared. And then there is a minus in between. So there's a very easy way for us to factorize difference of two squares. When we see something like this, when we see something like 9, x squared and -9, x and 3 will play in that role. So now we have x squared -4. We're looking at x and 2. The fastest way to factorize it is by putting x plus 2 and also x minus 2. So this is also the same thing as this we have factorized, and it's very much easy. We found the difference of two square. This is the difference of two square, and then we're able to factorize them. You just need to get what is being squared to have this x squared, which is x. What is being squared to have this 4. And then you put 1, you put plus a positive sign in between, 1 you put a negative sign. It can be interchanged. You can have x minus 2 and x plus 2, but there must just be plus and minus. Then rewriting this, we'll be having limit as x tends to 2 over x minus 2. This and this, they are the same. If you expand, you're still going to get this. Or just being able to factorize to make it more better. And at the end of the day, we'll be having x minus 2 cancel x minus 2. Mind you, these two are multiplying themselves, divided by this. So this can easily cancel out. And then we'll be left with limit as x tends to 2, x plus 2. So we can easily substitute the get. So our answer will now become x, which is 2 plus 2. It gives us 4. So our final answer is 4. You have x tending to a finite number, your answer is also finite. So that's good. So you see how we tried direct substitution, it gave us infinity. It means we are not to use this method, direct substitution method, to get our answer. We have to look for another way around to get our answer. So I'm sure we've been able to take note of this. And by the way, we could also use L'Hopital's rule to solve this question, but that will not be done now. Let's see how we can solve another factorization question even as we proceed in this video. So moving on to the next question, we have limit as t tends to 3, t squared minus 5t plus 6 over t squared minus 9. So now we have this question. Let's see, is direct substitution going to work for this question? Now, Instead of taking time, now let me just show you a short method to check whether direct substitution is going to work. Go to the denominator, because the denominator is the deciding factor whether you are going to have infinity as the answer. If the denominator gives you 0 after substituting, it means that you have to try another method. Direct substitution is not going to work. So let's go to the denominator. Instead of t square, we'll put 3 square, right? We substitute directly. 3 square is going to give us 9. 9 minus 9 is going to give us 0. So it means at the end of the day, we'll be having something here and over 0, which is going to give us infinity. Now, because we're having infinity as the answer, when t tends to a finite number, we have to look for another way. And so what way are we going to use? What method are we going to use? Let's try factorization method. Yes, we're still on factorization method. So now, the reason why we're going to use factorization method for this is because factorization method is because this is a quadratic equation and then it is factorizable. So we write t square minus 5t plus 6. T square minus 5t plus 6. So writing this quadratic equation, how can we then factorize it? How can we factorize it? What we need to do is to get our constant. Our constant, 6 times the coefficient of t squared is 1. 6 times 1 is 6, right? So we have 6 as our constant. So now, for this, we get the factors of 6. The factors of 6 are 1, 2, 3, and 6. 1 times 6 gives us 6. 2 times 3 gives us what? 6. So these are the factors of 6. We will now say, out of these factors, what two numbers will give us plus 6 when we add them? When we multiply them. So when we multiply, what two numbers will give us plus 6? And when we add, what two numbers will give us minus 5? So out of this, we can, let's see, minus 2 and minus 2 and minus 3. When we multiply them, minus times minus gives us plus, because they are the same signs multiplying each other. 2 times 3 gives us 6, so we have plus 6. That's good. So when we add them, minus 2 plus minus 3, you are owing somebody 2 naira, you are also owing another person 3 naira. At the end of the day, the outcome is that you are owing 5 naira. So we have, adding up them together, we'll be having minus 5, and it means we've gotten the two factors that will result in our answer. So we can now say, since we've gotten minus 2 and minus 3, we can simply say, factorize this as t. We're going to put t minus 2 in brackets, t minus 3. So we have successfully factorized this quadratic equation. So what you just do to factorize, you get your constant. This times the coefficient is 6. Now that we've gotten it to be 6, you get the factors. Now you have the factors. What two of these factors, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 6, what two of these factors will multiply themselves to give you the constant and add themselves to give you this? So we have minus 2 and minus 3. So we say t minus 2 and t minus 3, not t squared. This now becomes that we have factored it. This becomes the factor of this quadratic. So solving further, we'll have over. Don't forget, we also have this. This is also a function that we can factor. Remember what we said in the last calculation that we solved, difference of 2 squared. When you see t is a squared, it's a squared of t squared, is a squared of t, right? It's a square of t. It's also 9 is a square of 3. So you have t and 3. So since both of them have are squares and then there's a minus sign in between, that's we use this shortcut, difference of 2 squared, to solve this. So we put minus in one and then we put a plus in the other, t plus 3. So we are done factorizing them, and then we see that t minus 3 cancel 3, t minus 3. We're left with limit as t tends to 3, t minus 2 over t plus 3. So substituting, we'll be having 3 minus 2 over 3 plus 3. 3 minus 2 gives us what? 1. 3 plus 3 gives us what? 6. So we're having 1 over 6. Now, we've seen that it was tending to a finite number, either positive, negative, or 0. And then you have a finite number as our answer. So we've used factorization method to solve this. I'm sure you are clear about this. And then what is very important when it comes to mathematics is practice. Practice and practice and practice. At the end of this video, stay tuned. I'm sure you're getting so much value. At the end of this video, I will give you, you'll be having exercises to solve and give your answer in the comment section. Solve these exercises, don't run away from them. It will further ground your understanding on this particular subject matter we're treating today, which is the limit of function. And if you are watching to this point, if you've watched to this point and you've not clicked on subscribe, please do. Click on subscribe button so that each time we upload subsequent videos, you will be notified on your device. Okay, so in the next video, we are going to be treating L'Hopital's rule. But before then, we'll be having an introduction to standard derivatives, to little differentiations here and there. Because as we solve L'Hopital's rule, as we use L'Hopital's rule, it will warrant that we have a basic understanding of differentiation. So if you're here to subscribe, kindly hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell. And then share this video to your friend. This is a crash course on limit of a function. Share this video to your friends. It's going to help them as it has helped you. And don't forget to leave an awesome and amazing comment at the comment section. So see you in the next video.